I'd like to keep an open mind, but not so open that my brains fall out. And that's the key point. We have to skeptically assess the information we receive. We have to. We can't be gullible because when we get a lot of information, it's absolutely certain that some of that information is wrong.
Gullible.
And so we have to always filter what we get. And so we have to ask ourselves the following question. How open does my brain have to be to accept that information? Does it have to fall out? And by that I mean, when someone tells you something, you have to ask, is this consistent with my experience? Is it consistent with the experience of other people around me? And if it isn't, then probably there's a good reason to be skeptical about it. It's probably wrong. If it makes predictions that also appear to be in disagreement with things that you observe around you, you should question it. And so we should never take anything on faith. That's really the mantra of science, if you want. That faith is the enemy of science. That's really the mantra of science. We often talk about a loss of faith in the world today. You don't lose anything by losing faith, okay? What you gain is reality. And so skepticism plays a key role in science simply because we also are hardwired to want to believe. And so we're hardwired to want to find reasons for things. In the savanna in Africa, the trees could be rustling, and you could choose to say, well, in the ancient... well, there's no reason for that, or maybe it's due to a lion. And those individuals who thought there might be no reason never lived long enough to survive to procreate. And so it's not too surprising we want to find explanations for everything. And we create them, if we need to satisfy ourselves, because we need to make sense of the world around us. And what we have to understand is that what makes sense to the universe is not the same as what makes sense to us. And we can't impose our beliefs on the universe. And the way we get around that inherent bias is by constantly questioning both ourselves and all the information we receive from others.
Inherent. Bias.
That's what we do in science, and it works beautifully in the real world as well.
The problem is this: none of us has the truth. The only way to find out that if you're deceiving yourself or not, if you've gone off the rails, if you're wrong in some way, is to listen to other people who disagree with you. I started encountering other people that disagreed with me. You know, we never went to the moon people, conspiracy people, whatever. You know,
Conspiracy.
and I thought, okay, so how do we know, if I don't know what's coming down the pike, say in 10 years from now, if I was going to teach my students how to think critically, what are the key points, like just basic questions they could ask?
Pike. Pike.
So it begins with one, how reliable is the source of the claim? So it begins with one, how reliable is the source of the claim? Here's What's the quality of the evidence? Where does it come from? Who said that? Is this some, fake news alternative site thing, or is it, the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times? I mean, is this some,
Alter.
the source really matters. Has anyone tried to disprove the claim? This is super important because everybody thinks they're right. And every website has testimonials about this product or that idea. This is super important because
testimonials.
the question is not what do your supporters think, but what do the people who don't agree with you think? Because that's what I want to know. Has anyone run an experiment to try to disprove your theory?